This is CJ with your 40s Tabata Drinks. How you guys doing? I know I've been away for a while. I wanted to apologize for that, but I was trying something different and I've been working. And like I said before, a while ago, starting a new career path and, getting acclimated to a new system. So, now that I'm back, I want to go for the long haul. I will be doing a multitude of book reviews, starting with The Golden Couple. So, this is a one book that I actually, it did make me want to leave out and start back doing what I do. This book was phenomenal. It was called The Golden Couple, and it was by Greer, Hardrick, and Sarah Panika. I think that's how it's pronounced. I will put all of the information in the description, and you'll also see the title of the book prior to me getting into this book. Starting there. Now, I did enjoy the book. Title will explain itself, but it was about a DC power couple that was kind of envied in their area of the metropolitan DC area. It was a suspense thriller. It had some really great, I am going to say, twists and turns that made you really, really like the book. I have my favorite characters. At first, it took me a while to find a favorite. And I'm going to say this. The reason I say it like that is because I am really funny about what I read and how I read it. So that was one of my biggest issues, was the selling point of the book itself. Um, Now, like I said before, I love the book because it was worth it. Um, the purpose of it, and I do think the author's purpose was to show you an alternative of how something that seems so perfect really isn't. And I gotta say that it showed through from the beginning to the end. It was nonstop twists, turns, gotcha moments. It was moments where you were like, no, that's not. So I'm gonna say that something I love. That's something I love about books. It has to grab my attention right away, and it has to keep me turning that page. Um, what I did not like is in the end, they did miss some points of explaining the why and the how. How did it get there? How did the husband find out? And why did he take it to this extreme? Why did he take the first time to the extreme? The setting, again, like I said, is set in DC. It was a perfect setting. If you've ever been to Washington, D.C., the suburban area, the Potomac, all of those areas is beautiful. DC has always been really one of those towns that I loved. I just couldn't move there, but I would love to. So that was one of the good things. The character I loved the most was Avery, which was the therapist. Not because she was a just a therapist and she sat and listened to someone's problems, she was activated. She's one of those therapists that was hands on. Not only am I going to listen to you and you sit here for an hour every week or every other week and you tell me what your problems are in this relationship, I'm going to get involved. Everything I'm going to ask, why is this? I want to know. I'm going to go to that place to see. I'm going to go to your favorite restaurant. I'm going to go to your kids' school just to see what are the cues that are being missed in the conversations that we're having. This way, it isn't feeling like, okay, you telling me something and I'm analyzing it based on what you're saying. I'm getting the raw. And I love that about her character, especially as a therapist in itself. I do believe that therapy is needed. And a lot of times, especially in relationships, and that was one of the best things I did here. Like, I'm not going to just take your word or his word. I need to know. Oh, okay. Well, they like this particular restaurant. Why do you like this particular restaurant? I got to go and see. I want to know who's in your life. I like that about the character. The character I like the least. I did not like the assistant, Polly. Polly was a little over the top and extra. And I have a problem with someone mimicking me all the time. Like, I get the flattery of, interpretation of the person you are, or imitating me is a form of flattery. It's not for me. Don't flatter me like that. You like the outfit I have on? Wow, thanks. Please don't go and get the exact same outfit. I feel like now I'm a mannequin for you. No, don't do that. Um, the main characters were Avery, the therapist, Marissa, the wife, and Matthew, the husband. And Marissa and Matthew had went to Avery for marriage counseling. And like I said, I'm gonna say a few spoilers, but it was twists and turns from start. Um, on the first introduction and meeting um, with the married couple and Avery, Marissa explained that she had cheated on her husband. And at some point, I'm going to say this because we discussed this with the ladies of Well Read. Uh, what would have been the take if that couple was an African American couple? It was a lot of things that, while I know what I would do in that situation, what would someone else do? So I found that to be very interesting. Um, the main characters go through, so Avery had these 10 session steps of regaining the person's independence away from being in their therapy. Avery's character had been, she had gotten her license revoked to be a therapist. So she wasn't a licensed therapist, but she still had the education and the background to do it. So she did, DC, when they found out that she had lost her license, the reason she had lost her license, um, the DC paper wanted to write about her and they dubbed the article the Maverick Therapist. And they explained about her losing her license and her unconventional way of doing things. And now her unconventional way of doing things was perfect. And I understand wholeheartedly. Sometimes you only need 10 sessions. If you're sitting on your psychiatrist's couch for years and you still ain't got to the meat of what really is wrong, you might want to contact that psychiatrist and fire them and find somebody that can help you, because all we're doing is having a conversation, or you're just coming here for medication. That's one. That's a personal note. Okay. Um, the main characters, like I said, Marissa was carrying a lot of guilt from having an affair. It was a one-time thing. She loved her husband. She wanted to make it work. In the end, as much as he was upset about the situation, he said he wanted to make it work as well. And they were going to use Avery's 10-point program to make it work. So as they were sitting there discussing how to go forward, like I said, it kind of gave me another mindset of saying, what would have happened if this was a Black couple? All right, so there's that. Um, the changes that they went through, like I said, they were a married couple. They had been married for 10 plus years. They had an 8-year-old son. They were kind of like they said, they were dubbed the golden couple in their area. She owned a boutique. He was an attorney with one of the top firms. And you could tell the distance in their situation. So during the process of trying to figure things out, there were twists. So the main character, which really the two main conversations that you got were Marissa and Avery's. Avery also had a lot of stuff going on in the background. I mean, a lot. I was like, Jesus, girl. It, I know you hands on with your clients, but all of this is extra. She did a lot. She did a whole lot. But I do give her credit that she juggled it. She juggled it all the way from start to finish. She kept her head on a swivel. So I gave Avery much respect because of that. Um, like I said before, I'm a fan, and I've actually recently told someone else this. During COVID, like coming out of COVID, I started going to therapy my own self, because you're locked in a house 24/7 for months. It takes a toll on you. So I'm going to say this, it did give me another outlook on my therapy. I haven't been in a while, but it also gave me the moment of, wow, that would work perfectly if my therapist was a little bit more hands on, not so much in every aspect of my business, but the things that might cause me pause. Here, write down that person's number. Maybe I can contact them and find out what's going on wrong with their life, or what's driving that situation. That's one of the things that changed my views on the therapy itself, and especially her maverick, unorthodox way of doing things. I have actually not only persuaded one, but several. Even my honey, he's not a reader of just books like that. Like, they have to have something to them. Either the history of it, or something self-help. but I actually got him to read the book because it was worth it. And I actually wanted to find out exactly what his story would, what he pulled from it. I mean, like I said before, as a black woman, I literally wanted to think about this book after I read it. How would that have changed if it was a black woman? So I would love to know what would a man have thought about it, especially a black man. So there's that. Summarize in one sentence. The husband, in the end, unhinged. And I say that to say this: you never know who you're sleeping next to. Although people say, "Oh no, this person isn't like that. I've been knowing them forever. I love them the most." Nope, unhinged. That is how I felt. What I would tell the author, like I said before, I would have liked to know when was his decision to change? When did he find out? This is a spoiler. When did he find out that the wife had cheated on him? And when did he come up with the plan for his revenge? I would love to know that. That would have been the best feedback. I thought the ending was perfect. Like I said before, it was hilarious to say the least. I would love for this to be one of those books that they could have made a sequel to just to see what happens next. Because at the end, someone dies. I want to know what the couple's life was like after they passed away, after he moved on. Let me take a pause. The last thing is if I would have done an alternative ending, like I said before, I kind of thought it was kind of weird how it ended. As much as I did like Marissa leaning on her friend from the past, I was kind of still leery of that person, so I wouldn't have leaned on that person. Um, it would have gave me a better outlook as to the woman that she thought her husband was cheating with. That would have helped as well. Because in the end, I think she thought that he was cheating with her, and it would have been nice to know, well, what was the real story? What was the conversations about? So that's something that like I said before, as far as the ending, a sequel would actually help with those gaps. I would love for that to be the case. The second thing would be, let me think. If they gave a little more insight to Avery, um, like, you know, what was her next steps and her next plans. And I mean, we all knew she was a therapist and had other clients, but what was her plan after it was revealed about um, the death of her husband and his daughter, and you know, her moving on in a some form of a relationship. I would have liked that to be the end. But on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best, I would give this book a 9. It was phenomenal. I read it in a day. I started on Labor Day and I ended the next morning, actually, I woke up getting ready for work. And while I was doing it, I was brushing my teeth and I actually hit Audible just because I needed to get those last 5 chapters out the way. But I will say this, it was worth the read. Even if you are not a reader, they have it on Audible, it's on Kindle. It is a phenomenal book. I give my hats off to the writers, and I will be with you again. Please subscribe to this channel, like and subscribe to this channel, as well as make sure that you like this video. I will be bringing you some other books that I've read over the last month. Majority of the time when I'm not, I have been immersed into this book. It's called King of the Underworld. It's about 500 plus chapters. It is long. So I'm only halfway through, but it's an interesting read as well. I will be sending that out as well. I'm going to do that today or tomorrow. However, it was nice seeing y'all. This is CJ with your 40s, and I will be contacting you as soon as I can. Bye.